From This Corner with John Ball is brought to you by KNEO 91.7 The Word.
Welcome to From This Corner. I'm John Ball, and hey, we're getting ready to start school. And because we're starting school, one of my very favorite people, Dr. Jim Cummins, Superintendent of Schools for the Neosho School District, is here. Jim, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come by and visit with us.
It's always a treat to be with you, and we're excited. School's getting close.
It's getting really close, and with school starting, of course, that brings about football season and softball season, and we've got new turf on the softball field now. And I kind of said last year that it's kind of like your house. Everything looked great until you put new carpet in one of the rooms, and then you needed it somewhere else. So because of the gracious contribution of some of the Neosho patrons, we now have a softball field that is turf.
Yes, they finished it up just in time. Practice is going on it, and you're right. We've had people step up, continue to have donors for different facilities that are going on, and so it's just an enjoyable time to be involved with what's going on at Neosho, both with facilities and our academic work that's going on.
Well, you know, one of the things that you and I talked about early on, and obviously you're a little bit of a prophet when it comes to this, because you talked about what we did and what we're getting ready to do. We've turfed the football field, we turfed the new baseball field, we turfed the softball field, we've got a performing arts center that's coming our way, and we've got FEMA shelters almost every place now. And you said, you know, when you've got those type of good facilities, it brings along great talent. And talking a little bit earlier, we got some great talent that are coming in as first-year teachers at Neosho, don't we?
You bet. We had our kickoff for our Wildcat Academy, which is our new staff coming into the district, and I had an opportunity to meet with them and meet and talk to some of them at lunch. You know, a bright-eyed bunch ready to come and make a difference, and some of the veteran teachers that are coming to Neosho just talked about some of the various reasons why they were attracted here. So I think it all kind of plays into just how do we make Neosho attractive, and facilities are a part of it, but the other things we've got to do is we've got to take care of our people. We've got to be a student first centered place. The new CAPS program, just different things we're doing. The Central is going to become a STEAM Academy in next year. So just a lot of good things, good people working on things that are going to be impactful for the children in our care.
Well, it's kind of a phrase that's been coined many, many times, but what we're doing now is we're trying to develop the United States of America of the future, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about it all the time internally about not every student has the same career path. Not every student has the same career desires. And so how do we create pathways that challenge them to be thinkers regardless of what their path might be? And how do we give them opportunities to see those pathways, to be exposed at a younger age so that they can make informed decisions in high school about what courses they want to take, and really just pique their interest in what they might be interested in, and let them know things that maybe they thought they were interested in, then they discover it, and it's like, oh, I don't want to waste my time there, and that's valuable too. Mm-hmm. Not taking a misstep, not going to college or trade school or anywhere and wasting money to find out, oh, I spent that time and I don't really enjoy that. So from kindergarten up, we talk about how do we develop ways to allow students to explore what really interests them and what their passions are and what they can make a living at.
Well, you know, years and years ago, we looked at work surveys when I was in another life, and that work survey said of the people that were surveyed, 68% were in a job they hated.
That is sad.
That's really sad, and part of that, I'm sure, is because someone convinced them that this is what they needed to do, whether it was a parent or an academic person or a professor or something, and they took off into it, and then they realized that because of bad financial decisions or whatever, they were stuck there.
Yes. Well, you know, that's we talk about that a lot, and even just in the short time that CAPS has been going at the high school, we've had students say, you know, I really thought I wanted to do this, but I think think I'm maybe interested in a different specialty, or that's really not for me. I'm going to go try the business strand or something. And so it really just is about opportunities throughout our system to allow students to explore.
Okay, well, let's start talking first day of school. What day is that?
First day of school, August 24th.
Okay, and that's going to be on a Monday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, a lot of times we started school like either Thursday or Friday, got a little break and then come back, but we're starting full bore, right?
We are. The Missouri law changed a couple of years ago. They won't allow us to start more than 14 days before Labor Day. Labor Day. And so what that's created is that you could start on a Monday, but that makes a long first week of school. And so what we're doing is we're bringing teachers back towards the end of next week. We'll have some days in the classroom, come back that Monday, let them kind of get everything in order, and then we'll have students on Tuesday.
Okay, now one of the things that we're doing is we're supplying all the school supplies this year.
Yeah, K-8, we're going to provide all of the student supplies, and that was one of the things that with COVID, with the ESSER funds that we've been fortunate enough to receive some of, we just felt like we could maybe take that burden off of parents with all the things that are going on, all the things on their minds, that if we could just provide every student with a certain set of school supplies and let them start the year, we might just be able to take that off of the parents' plate. And so we're excited to be able to do that and look forward to see how that works.
Yeah, and what that probably does more than anything else, some of those kids that are of a lesser fortune, we make sure that they get everything they need, and I think that's great that the school district is doing that for them.
Absolutely. And you know, it's one thing if you think about, well, I have one student, but think about a family maybe that has 3 or 4 students, and school supplies have gone up over time like everything else, and a lot of families might buy a new outfit or whatever to get ready for school. And so we just think it was a good use of those funds, and hopefully it will allow everybody to really get off to a good start.
Yeah, and we certainly hope that. Hey, last year was kind of a new year, yet it wasn't. We had to institute some things because of the COVID situation. I just want to talk about this real quick and get away from it and get on to bigger and better things. My hat's off to the school district for everything that you all put in place, whether it be mask-oriented, whether it be the time that a person is close to contact, whether it be quarantine or any of that. You all did a great job. In fact, Larry Bergner told me, he said the quarantine was something that he really didn't want. He wanted the kids back in school because he felt good about you all and what you did. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I just have a great appreciation for our security team, Mr. West, Ms. Clements, Mr. Fretwell, the work that they did to organize how we were going to do that, to manage it during the course of the year, to our administrators that had to make those phone calls to parents about quarantines, and really just for the majority of our parents that showed patience, had some grace. I know of students that were quarantined more than one time and never symptomatic, and I know that had to have been frustrating for parents. Our staff and our students showed up every day. We were in class the entire year. That allowed parents to work. That allowed our education system to continue. Those students that chose virtual instruction had a dedicated teacher assigned to them, checking in on them. And I just very proud of our district and the people and all that they poured into it. And quite frankly, proud of our parents for their patience and grace. And then here we are in June thinking, oh man, we're going to start school somewhat normal. And here comes the Delta variant and all of the new exposures, and we just had the funeral for one of our staff members, and it hurts. But we're at a place now where our community is ready to try to be more normal, and so our protocols reflect a little bit more of what our community is asking for. So we'll go with mask recommendation, but not mandatory. so they'll be optional. Social distancing, we'll still try to do that the best we can. I've used the analogy of Swiss cheese. Every piece has its flaws, but if you stack enough of them on top of each other, you can kind of cover the holes. And so we're going to do cleaning, we're going to do social distancing, we're going to monitor students and staff for symptoms. We're going to do all of the things internally that we can do to add layers, and then we're going to let the parents decide if they're going to add the layer of masking, vaccinations. Hopefully they will help us with home screenings. Don't send your kid to school sick, and just be conscious that although the Delta variant causes students, younger kids, to get sick, most of the time they're not hospitalized. But what is happening is adults are getting sick and ending up very sick. And so part of my job, part of our job, is to also protect the 700 staff members that we have in addition to our students.
Well, I got to tell you, last year at the beginning of school year, if you and I had bet a Diet Coke, and you would have bet that we were not going to miss a day of school, and I would have bet that we'd have missed at least 2 or 3, I'd have lost. So based on past experience, I feel real comfortable with where the school district is, what we're doing. We've got the proper protocol in place, and I just think we're going to have a great, great year.
I'm looking forward to it. I agree. And, internally, we had just some phenomenal growth. We use iReady assessment throughout the year. Three times we test our students on iReady, and we were recognized nationally through the iReady company, which is an Apple product, for the growth that we had from test period 1 to test period 3. We look forward to continuing that, because that's really what we're about, is getting students in, helping our teachers be master teachers, and just seeing that academic growth.
Well, speaking of recognition, this last weekend, KNEO went to the Missouri State Broadcasters Association, over 400 radio stations, and we won the very first place in the document public affairs area, and that was for our drive-through graduation at Neosho High School in 2020.
That was crazy, wasn't it? And it seems like forever ago. But, those are the things we've tried to do to add some normalcy to the students as those lives were impacted. I still feel bad about the graduating class of 2020. I mean, they never came back to school. The drive-through graduation seemed like the least we could do for them. And I just remember that was some of the hottest 5 or 6 hours of my life, standing there in the sun with a black robe on. But no, thankful that KNEO was a partner in that, and we were able to deliver some type of graduation for them, and then turn around this year, and the weather was just magnificent. We got to have it outside on the new field, and Mr. Barrett finally got to have a regular graduation as the high school principal, and just super excited with where the high school's at and the work that he and his staff are doing.
We even had fireworks display.
We had fireworks.
That's something, especially based on the last year. That was really exciting. But that tells you about the staff at our school district and how we want to showcase kids. And showcasing kids is vitally important. We're getting ready to start sports again this year. We're going to be doing softball. We're going to be doing football. We've got a new football coach. We're talking about new facilities again. And before too long, the place that I lovingly referred to as the Rock Garden is going to be a performing arts center, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's been a busy summer. Mr. Fretwell, and he's just running like crazy trying to keep up with all of our projects. But some things are happening that are wrapping up. The softball field baseball complex is wrapping up. We're thinking about an entrance there, so that'll be a little bit left to do out there. Middle school safe room will wrap up, be ready by the beginning of school, so that's going to give us great training space for district professional development, as well as a safe place in the middle school. We got approved for the Benton FEMA shelter. That is in design right now. We'll send that off to get approval, but we're hoping to break ground sometime around the beginning of the year on that. The end zone facility is approaching probably a couple of months out. I think the beginning of November is kind of a target there. And then, the Performing Arts Center, what a capstone project for all of this. Moving the road, improving the drainage down along the west side of the stadium. All of that work has to be done first, so it's probably 2 or 3 months before you'll start start seeing really any work on the actual pad for the Performing Arts Center. The barriers are up now so that students can walk safely from parking lot into the high school. We converted the south end to a temporary parking lot. A lot happening.
There's a whole lot happening, and that's going to be something Neosho and the surrounding area are going to be extremely proud of, and our kids are going to be so very fortunate. First of all, they've got one of the greatest opportunities in the world. They can go right from Neosho to Crowder College. There was a couple of kids last year that graduated with dual degrees, an associate's degree from Crowder and their high school diploma, and that is such a great opportunity.
It is. We had a parent comment on that last night, just how pleased they were that their child was able to do that. And so again, it's about providing opportunities. And one of the things that our students, whether it be the choir and the band having to perform in the cafeteria, or our athletic teams having to perform in less subpar venues, when this is all done, there's not a student at Neosho High School that will have to go to another school in our conference and say, man, it would be nice if we were treated like this. And that means a lot to those students, to the future students that come up through. And, we've gotten a few shots about, well, school shouldn't be about facilities and this and that and the other. And I understand that. I mean, we're trying to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money, and it's obviously their investment that's doing this. But by the same token, we believe our kids are worth it. We believe that they deserve what every other school district has, that they go out and perform at their venues and see what they get to be in. And so when the Performing Arts Center is done, we won't have to take a back seat to anybody.
And with that, I think we'll close. We believe our kids are worth it. You got one last word?
Oh, just thank you for KNEO's continued support and the support of our community. It's going to be another outstanding year.
All right, thanks. Appreciate your time for us.
You bet. Thank you.